All right. So, hi, Amber. Thanks for coming to visit with me today.
Yeah, thank you.
So, first question I wanted to ask you is if you could tell anybody who's watching this video, which modules of the somatic exercise teacher training have you now completed?
I've completed module one, two, and three.
Fabulous. And can you tell us, did you do one and two? I think you did, right? One and two back to back.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then you did module three, like barely a week later. So, all three were quite close together.
Yes. Yeah.
It. Um, Tell us a little bit about your experience with doing all three together. Because, of course, the main thing that happens when we do all three of those modules together is we move through the entire body. So we do the front and the back of the body, the sides of the body. We do trunk rotation. We do hip, legs, and joint or hip joints and legs, and we do head, neck, and shoulders. And we finish with the breathing and the walking exercises. So all 8 lessons from Thomas's book. So tell us your experience, and more specifically, what I'm wondering about is the emotional release that you experienced during the 3 modules.
Yes. So I didn't know what to expect going into it. I didn't read a lot about it before. I think I had called you and talked to you, and then was asking questions about it. But I have been interested in it for, well, almost a year now because I found it at the beginning of the last year. And so this just worked to do it by Zoom. It worked really, really well for me. And then going into it, after I signed up for one and two because they were back to back, and I thought, well, I'm there anyways, so I might as well do it. And I was not sure if I was going to sign up for three because I really didn't know what to expect. But after the first day, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm signing up for three. So right away, I knew it was something that was really important because I could feel the differences in my body in just the first day, right, of doing exercises. So just that awareness was huge for me because I wanted to give something extra to my clients physically that I alone doing massage or my other therapies that I do, I can't do. So that was really good. Moving through the first 2 days was great. The exercises were really good. I felt a lot of release through my torso. So that was awesome because I'm a runner. So I do feel a lot of the impact in my low back. And then when we started to move into the upper body, into the neck and the shoulders, that's kind of where I feel like I hold most of my stress, which, as I came to realize, is not all um, physical. So there's some emotional stuff there. And
So just to
during,
clarify though, the first 2 days, it was all physical and muscle release stuff you were feeling. You weren't feeling any emotional or, you know,
no,
ever release happening before. It was when we started the module two and moved into head, neck, and shoulders.
yeah, that's when it started. And going through the exercises, they're very simple, but it was just the release, I guess, going into that area with awareness, like that awareness of, I might get emotional talking about it, moving through it. And it was unexpected, like this is unexpected,
Yep.
but very needed, right? So I think it was something that my body really needed, and it probably needs more. I haven't done a lot of the neck and shoulders on my own um, after the course. I'm taking my time with that part for me, just because I know I will have release because I'm emotional when I talk about it. So what a couple of things happened. One, some memories came up that I knew about, but they came up differently. There was a feeling that came up with that because I think you know how you have feelings about things, and then you dismiss them and go, oh, that's okay. I've dealt with that. That's fine. Moving on. Things are different now, right? Um, but my body hadn't. My body was still holding on to that, obviously, because when they came up, I looked at them a different way and was like, no, that's important. I need to acknowledge that. Like that's affected me. So instead of brushing it away and saying, oh, it's okay, it was, oh, wow, this is still sitting here. My body's holding on to it because of what I've learned with your course in Thomas's book. And wow, like I don't want to dismiss this. I want to acknowledge it. Like I'm going to let it go, but I need to acknowledge it. Like this is there. And just doing that was good for me to not dismiss that emotional side that affected me through my experience.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the things that was really key for me is allowing myself to go recognize it first that I'm holding it, and two, to go, I got to acknowledge this if I really do want to let it go. I'm not going to dismiss this. And so that awareness about my body transferred from then into the next days that we did this, and transfers into my everyday. It's that awareness of, okay, why am I feeling this? And I remember your words were so clear and they're still in my head. I always ask myself, am I in comfort? It was like your voice, like through the course, going, stay in comfort. Is your body in comfort? Is this comfortable for you? And so I think about that when I'm moving through things, with that awareness, like, and not even necessarily a physical thing. I told you
I
about
say,
my,
so even emotionally, you're being careful. Like you're saying to yourself, are you in comfort? Is it comfortable to go with this memory or
yeah,
acknowledge it or whatever you need to do?
yeah. And even like everyday stuff. So running, like, am I in comfort? I'm running on pavement. I told you this. No, I'm not in comfort. Well, why are you running on pavement? Get on the grass.
Yeah.
Am I in comfort? No, I'm running too fast. Like, slow down. This is not a race. You're just out enjoying. So,
Zombies were chasing you.
yeah, no. So it's like that awareness of what, I do want my body to be in comfort because it's so much harder. And then even in conversations with people, it's like a couple of times I'm like, I'm not in comfort here. I don't like this. And that awareness of, yeah,
And giving
I,
yourself the permission to stay in comfort.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's been a huge jump for me, to that allowing myself, because I have that inner awareness. And I know we had talked during the course after I did run, and me realizing I always run fast. I always run wherever. I'll go 50K and climb and not have the awareness that my body told me to shut down at 20, right? So it's like now I have that awareness and I want to stay in that comfort. But it's because I looked at it and went, wow, like you really have not had the awareness in your body almost your whole life, right? So, and why I have such a big emotional release is because of the trauma as a child, right? So I had talked to you about I had gone through some sexual abuse trauma very, very young. And one of the things through doing talk therapy with my counselor, I guess, for 15 years on and off, um, was that we disassociate. So to deal with big trauma at a young age when we don't have that verbal ability to express ourselves, we kind of disassociate so that we can deal with what's happening. And I know that, and I knew that as I'm talking to my therapist verbally, and she's giving me tools to ground, and she's giving me the tapping technique and all these different things to cope with the feeling when it comes. But at the same time, um, I didn't realize that I disassociate in so many areas of my life, including my fitness. Like I've been disassociating there. I've been disassociating in relationships. I've been disassociating with friends. My sister says, Amber, you never let anyone get close to you. And it's like almost not connected to myself. So I don't know how to get close.
Yeah.
So
Big, big stuff. And I remember the words you told me after was you said, uh, how you, with this disassociation, how you had been so disconnected from your body, and how after this release happened, how much more aware and inside of your body you all of a sudden were, which you're obviously still doing. Like you're taking care
Yeah.
and you're paying attention to your running and listening to your body now,
Yeah.
which is probably easier to do. You were probably just frightened or too scared to do it because you knew that physically you were still holding on to some trauma.
Hmm.
And now
Hmm.
that you've let it go, it's a little
Yeah.
easier to be inside your body because it's you've let go of it. You don't need to be as scared of it now.
And what really stood out for me was it doesn't matter how much verbal therapy I've done with a counselor. It was like my body's still holding. Like I know all the stuff and I know how to ground myself, but that doesn't change that my body's holding. And when we went through those exercises and I started releasing, I'm like, wow, like my body really needs to learn how to let go of this so that I can heal more. So I'm not having, really bad neck pain, and I'm not having, issues with my torso, my core, right? And that emotional side of it, being able to not have to verbally talk through it, but just to like, okay, I'm gonna do these exercises. It's releasing for me, and I'm not doing anything verbal. I'm recognizing it, like cognitively. I'm going, yeah, okay, this is what this is connected to, because the memories will come back, but I'm not having to talk through it. I've done that, and it was so helpful to do it verbally. But the other part of it is I was that awareness that I've got to get my body to let it go too. And that's what the Hannah Somatics has done. It's helped my body let go of it too.
So you know how you've heard me talk about my recipe for my chronic pain. I have my recipe of things that I need to do. And I think this goes for anything or anybody, right? So even with emotional trauma, childhood trauma, you're not going to find one thing that's going to help you through it, right? There's got to be a recipe of things. So for you, you did the counseling, I'm sure you did more than just that, but this last little piece that you found now, and maybe there'll be another piece after, but was doing the Hannah Somatic exercises, which helped you physically to release the trauma,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
And I mean, I do yoga, and I'm a Reiki master, and I know all about energy and how we store it in our bodies, and I've done all that. But that's still knowing it and experiencing the exercises and just the power that you have yourself through awareness to be able to release and let go of those the physical places that you're stuck without having to talk to do any of it, right? Like it's kind of like allowing your body to just be at peace, right? And I
Yes.
remember saying, like, I've never been at so much peace, like to actually feel physically in my body that I'm at peace. I can sit there and go, oh yeah, I'm in peace, like I don't have any worries about this or this or this, but my body is still like, oh my God, right? Like it's still on, but to actually sit and be able to like bring my body down to a place where, oh, my body feels peaceful was huge for me. That was huge because I haven't felt like that. And I was talking to a client actually they asked about somatics, so I was talking about it. And I said, now that I found it and I know what it feels like, I'm not willing to compromise this for anybody in any way. And that's why I do the check-ins. Are you in comfort here? Is this comfortable in everything that I'm doing, even work? So I thank you so much for this because it's a huge gift,
I
huge
thank
gift.
you so much for sharing your story with us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks, Amber.
You're welcome. Sorry, I got emotional.